if they want to. Talk don't bother me. I want the whole.
And welcome to Let 'em Talk. I'm Paul DiRienzo.
And I'm Miss Joan Marie Musi.
We have a great show today for you. We have Arlene Williams joining us again, and Sid, and they're wearing green ribbons for a purpose and for a reason, and we have the image behind us on the screen for a reason. Just this weekend was the Worldwide Marijuana March in over 319 cities around the world, the largest one being in Toronto, which had 40,000 people marching for the legalization of marijuana. What else? And Arlene is a medical marijuana patient, and she's representing an organization, the Green Ribbon Green Ribbon World, which we're going to all wear a green ribbon, right? That says legalize on it.
Exactly.
We'll be putting ours on a little later because we are all big supporters of legalizing marijuana. Why put people in jail? And unfortunately, our current mayor, even though he has smoked marijuana and claimed that he liked it, under his regime, we have had more arrests for marijuana than ever before in the history of New York.
New York City is the marijuana arrest capital of the world.
Right, and so that makes it the marijuana hypocrisy capital of the world. Yet our state is currently looking at the possibility of legalizing medical marijuana, and the state
They turned it down the last vote, so
yes.
I was very disappointed.
Right.
I thought they would surely pass it. But
absolutely.
They did not.
And so, I'm sorry for that, but let me begin, Arlene, by, you gave a great speech. First of all, tell us a little bit about yourself. And how did you come to become a marijuana legalization advocate?
Well, that started, I used marijuana upon the advice of my doctor. And I had lost so much weight, and at the time there was an experimental program that the government had. And he deemed that it wasn't that great, and by the time he did the paperwork, he said, you may not be here. So he just told me to reach out. And I do like to tell the story, because I walked out of NYU Medical Center, stood on the sidewalk, and I said, God, help me. And God really did, because I went straight to the nearest schoolyard, and there I met Jesus. I love it, I swear. And he blessed me big time. I got religion from him, and it was the best ever. Yes, and we were good friends from that point on, because later when I got a little bit better, I volunteered for it was supposed to be an hour a week in an AIDS hospice run by Mother Teresa's sisters. And it wound up becoming my life for 12 years. And I experimented there. And Jesus would help me with the guys, and
sort of like a medical marijuana club, in a way.
Yeah, when we were supplying them. And if you want to arrest me, I don't care. Well, that's what we did.
Tell the story of how you met Barbara.
And then, and I would tell people all the time that I used marijuana, but I wasn't open about it exactly. I'd pick the time. But then that one morning I picked up the newspaper and I read about Barbara Jackson getting arrested. She was 1 year older than me, and she was a grandmother like myself. She had colon cancer. She had been suffering for 8 years, and her kids usually provided her friends the marijuana, which helped her to eat, and it helped her nausea. Because she was really sick. I don't even think people knew how much she covered it up. But anyway, we didn't really know each other yet. So I read this story. I couldn't believe they had arrested her.
They threw her down on the sidewalk, handcuffed her,
put her in a cruiser. She had a mug shot. She was fingerprinted. She was thrown in a holding cell, and she had Ron Kuby represent her. So when I read the story, many times I've read stories where I thought, well, I'll write a letter, I'll make a phone call, and I didn't really do that. But this time I did. And I called the attorney's office, and I said, look, I'm white, I have breast cancer, I live in the Upper East Side, this most likely would not have happened to me. It wasn't impossible, but highly improbable. And I want to go to court for her. And the case, of course, was dismissed, and her and I became like the black and white Scotties in the Scotch bottle, and we called ourselves Ganja Grannies. Anybody know what Ganja Grandpa out there? My number is.
So you've come a long way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So and we became close friends. Actually, we realized that we had met 30-some years before.
Oh, wow.
Oh, really?
Yeah, she was a barmaid, and my husband used to drink when he was alive, and I was always chasing him down, trying to find him in the bar. And so she knew him, and her fellow she was dating was a close friend of his. So then we wound up, we had a little history there.
That's good.
And,
Well, she was a terrific lady.
And when she died August 08, and her last words to me were, "It's not the marijuana's fine." And I always thought that she was testifying one more time
That's right.
that, yes, it's not the marijuana helped me,
That's
you
right.
know?
That's right.
So, and then I took it from there because my kids and her family, they said, "Well, what are you going to do?" I said, "Well, I don't know what to do. I'll do the best I can." And I kept working with Cures Not Wars, but I kept thinking there's another way. In my mind, I wanted to target the people, like I have the saying, you know, come out of your smoke-filled closet. I think half of New York, maybe more than that, are smoking in their closet, so to speak.
Absolutely. There's
Yeah.
people of all ages, all
Professional people.
Yeah.
They need to come out and back us up. I mean, if you're stupid enough to break the law, you should be courageous enough to stand up for the right to do this. And last summer, I ran into 3 very well-educated kids, and they had formed the Green Army. And within 2 weeks of them establishing that, I got involved with them. And we did a lot. We really, I can't say we didn't do anything. We really reached a lot of people.
You
The kind of
did. Yeah, you
people
came
we
on our
wanted
show,
to.
which was great.
And we came on your show. Can't say anything bad about what we did. I don't know what happened. They just stopped.
Well,
Right.
sometimes people just tire out. You know, that's the thing about activism, and the reason that new people have to always start up is that sometimes people just need a break.
Yeah,
It's
and
an all-consuming.
I don't think they had that dedication. I
Yeah.
don't think they realized
What they were getting
what they
into.
were getting into.
Now, Sid, let me ask you about your involvement in this movement. I know you have a show here at M&N,
Yes,
which
I
we
do.
should plug right now. Yeah.
Well, it's called Multi-Hop.
All right.
And,
when is your show on?
Our show airs on 11 p.m. Fridays.
Oh, all right.
on
Late
Channel
night.
56.
Late night
Okay.
weekends.
Yeah.
Well, we're on
Okay.
56 here too, so
Yeah.
you're right after us, but on
Check it
another
out
day.
on
Yeah.
Friday. Yeah.
Yeah.
How's the channel treating you?
Yeah, it's the lifestyle.
We love it. Yeah.
We're following the lifestyle.
Exactly.
Now, and you're also a filmmaker.
Yes, I am.
Okay.
I'm a documentarian, television producer, and also a teacher.
Great.
I teach multimedia production to teachers, to various spectrums, teachers and children that work at after-school programs.
Oh,
For
fantastic.
YMCA branches.
Oh, that's wonderful.
So I started at Harlem, volunteering, and they hired me, and I created my own curriculum called True School. So really, aside from that, that's the education aspect.
Of course.
But the more entertainment and
The
you know,
production side
production
is it?
side is the hip hop side,
Okay.
where I really focus a lot of my energy towards.
Now, how did you cross paths with Arlene?
Well, let me put it this way: what does hip hop have to do with marijuana? What do you-
Well, you know what?
They don't even know about this movement.
That's the reason. Well, if you think about hip hop, right?
Right.
Hip bees. So
Right.
there gotta be some
Some
correlation.
crossover,
right,
right?
right, exactly.
So I
Right.
figured. I mean, seriously. I'm a weed smoker, marijuana smoker. However you want to call it today. But I smoke blunts, and honestly, I really know it's not healthy.
Oh, because of the tobacco
Tobacco,
wrapper.
yeah.
Yeah.
I don't like
and
that,
all
yeah.
these different
Yeah.
variations of the rap that they have
Right.
in
Right.
Phillies, Bluntvilles.
Right.
It seems like it's a
just
business
adding
created
more-
off of our
Right.
demise.
Yeah.
It's close, to, you know.
Well, you're
Right.
also adding all these chemicals
Yes.
That
to
they
a
use.
natural
Yes.
substance,
Right.
you know?
So really why I came on board is to also learn more about how to do it more healthier.
Yeah.
You
Oh,
know?
that's cool. So
And,
Right.
and pass on this knowledge to
Right.
the hip-hop community.
Now, we were talking earlier about the vaporizer.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
it's so difficult to find a vaporizer. Well, first of all, in the United States, any sort of drug paraphernalia, quote unquote, is illegal under federal law. 5 years in prison. Obviously, most jurisdictions don't enforce that law. Some do, which can make it dangerous, as Tommy Chong found out, especially if you do it across state lines to the wrong jurisdiction. And they bugged him. And we had friends of his on here who were talking about how much they bugged him and his family to sell them, and finally they said no, no, no. But when people are shoving money in your face, often somebody makes a mistake, and he spent 9 months in jail because of that. So the vaporizer, how it works is it heats up the marijuana to a precise temperature by a thermocouple, a heating element. That causes the THC to actually evaporate without burning the actual vegetable matter. So you, instead of inhaling all that smoke with the tars and the nicotines and all that kind of thing, you just inhale the THC as a steam, sort of as a steam. Well, if you have a blunt, there's probably nicotine in the outside of it.
Of course.
Right, right. You just take out the THC and it becomes...
But what's left over?
you can actually smoke what's left over. Yeah.
You can cook
Well,
with it.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, that's
And actually, I've heard of it being done, and you can take the bowl out even after people have gotten pretty stoked on it, and smoke what's left, and still feel it.
Okay,
Yeah, and still
that's
feel it.
completely-
It's
Right.
cost effective.
A very cost-effective way, and you know it's used. It's not a joke. It's used in Amsterdam and in Holland in hospitals where medical marijuana is
Accepted.
totally accepted, and people you're not allowed to smoke in a hospital.
Right.
Cigarettes
So they
or
use the
tobacco of any sort.
vaporizer.
They use the vaporizer. Now, I've heard of the vaporizer. I would not personally trust anyone that was bought mail order. I would say that to find somebody who's technically inclined to actually make one
Yeah,
for
that's
you
what
out
I've
of the
heard,
parts.
have them custom made.
Custom made, which is expensive, hundreds of dollars, and it's ridiculous. It shouldn't be hundreds of dollars. It's the same technology that's used in one of those things to strip paint off a wall. It's the exact same technology.
Oh, dear.
So it shouldn't be any.
Scares me
I
when I
know,
hear
right.
that description.
I know, but you use it instead of stripping the paint.
Now,
you're
don't just try to alter
Right.
your paint stripper.
Right, right. And you have to set it. Now, some of us might have read the book 451 Fahrenheit, 451 by Ray Bradbury.
Oh, yeah.
About the fireman whose job was to burn the books. And 451 is the temperature that paper, cellulose, what marijuana is made out of, burns at. So what you have to do is heat your THC burns at like 158 degrees or something, number like that.
But this
So you
is
just
not a
set it.
how-to show.
Right, right.
Yeah.
You just set it right at that temperature. Well, for all those technically
Talking about
inclined,
the movement,
those
not how to.
I know there's a lot of technically inclined folks out there, you know, who are taking notes right now.
Give us a call if you can.
Yeah, right. But unfortunately, it's illegal to make and possess those things, so they're often, you know, they are sold and bought, but they're not of the best quality.
But isn't there a code name for them?
For,
Like you said
yeah,
something earlier today.
yeah, room
Tempered
hu-
vaporizers or
humidifiers are on the box. you
Yeah,
know,
right,
They
right.
ship them.
right.
We're not trying to
But
get
anyway,
everybody
what we're talking about is more healthy for patients, for ill people, for people who want to take marijuana for their medical conditions, which is now it is legal in New Jersey. It's legal in 13
Washington, D.C.
13 states in the Washington D.C. It's legal. It might be legal in New York in a week or two.
Yeah.
Oh.
I'm
They
told
said-
they're this
we
close.
hope.
Jersey.
We
Yeah,
hope.
yeah. It's
I'm
close
praying
to New York. I'm told that we have the votes.
Yeah.
But who
Pray to
knows?
the
You never know in politics.
Angel of weed.
Yeah.
The weed angel.
Right.
I
Who
pray
brought
to.
you Jesus?
Right. Yes. Jesus.
To now bring legalization, at least for the medical marijuana patients.
Right. And
Although, of course, I'm personally for decriminalization for all reasons.
well,
Yes,
you know.
me
Yes,
too.
that's where
Definitely.
and that's where I believe the hip hop community really needs to really pitch in now, because the fight. What I saw on the 420 and the other day when it was a marijuana march
yes.
seems very one-dimensional.
Mhm.
You know, and I think we need to be a little bit more three-dimensional now
Right.
with it. You know, utilizing the internet, utilizing you know
Exactly.
the Twitters
And utilizing all the people.
all the exactly.
Yes,
That's what I
marijuana.
was getting to.
Yeah.
I
Because
agree.
We
Yes.
all smoke. I mean,
It
if
isn't
you
like
know
it's
somebody who
one
does.
flat group of
No,
people. It
no.
is like somebody from every possible angle.
Right.
that
Every
uses
walk of
marijuana.
life.
Absolutely, absolutely. And, you know, in a way, it was a great rally. Unfortunately, our rally in New York is marred by, well, I don't know if it's marred, but it's basically a gathering of friends.
Yeah.
Yes.
as opposed to a large-scale movement for whatever reason. We've gone in that
We live
direction.
such in a police state, though, Billy. I think that's
People are
also
afraid.
When we
yeah,
had- yes.
it's fear.
When we had a big one, the last big one they had was a few years ago when Giuliani was the mayor, and they arrested 300-400 people.
A lot of people.
Like-
People that weren't smoking, you would
Right.
beside
It
somebody.
was sad. It was really
Yeah.
pathetic,
Yeah.
and that's the only time that
They
really
put
ever
in all
happened.
of those,
Yeah.
you know, young police officers undercover.
Yes. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Terrible.
And who actually probably do smoke pot themselves.
And
I'm sure.
steroids or whatever.
Yeah, I've heard about the
you know.
steroid thing. And so, you know, we have to get, that hasn't happened under that kind of mass arrest type of thing, that kind of like trying to crush a movement. That was like Giuliani's
Yeah,
hallmark.
yeah.
But the current mayor, he's more like the two-faced approach. You know, oh, I'm for it on one hand, but on the other hand,
We're arresting hundreds
We're
of
still gonna
people,
arrest
maybe
people.
not in one day,
But it's
but
still a business
Yeah.
at the
across
end
the
of the
board.
day.
But
Yeah.
not where he lives.
Now,
I
I wonder
can
if this-
walk up
yeah.
and down that street anytime. You want a cheap high? When the kids get out of school,
Right.
I walk behind them.
I would
home
imagine-
by the time I get home.
I would imagine on the Upper East Side, you'd have, instead of like the cheap Mexican stuff that people get in little tiny glassine envelopes in the Bronx, you would be getting like high grade quarter-ounce imported from
really?
California.
Oh.
Yeah, really.
Yeah.
I mean, I
So I'll be
Yeah.
up to visit next week.
Right.
Stand in front of the mayor's house. That's the best place.
I'm sure he gets the best. You know, shipped anybody grows it there. So
Probably.
yeah, right.
So, after
So what
the-
is next?
oh,
What's coming?
Well, after the Green Army had, you know, just disappeared, everybody kept saying, well, why don't you do something? And I said, what am I going to do? They said, well, you don't need an army. You can do it. Little did I know what I was getting into. I need an army.
It's a big job. Isn't
Yeah,
it?
so I started the website. The first person that helped me with it, I knew was mentally challenged. And the poor guy, in 2 days, had a breakdown.
And
So
stress.
then my girlfriend introduced me to the second designer, web designer, and her family said, no, why do you want him? Why would you do that to her? And oh, they went crazy. You
Over
know.
the marijuana issue.
No, that
Oh.
she would introduce me to this particular person.
Oh, I
So 2 weeks later, she slipped him in on me. This guy, this dude, hijacked my website. I mean, it was, I could write a book just about what happened.
Right.
Trying to go on my own.
Well, you know, now there are other ways. We can have a technical discussion another
Yeah.
time, but there are ways to set up websites nowadays
Oh, now it's
that are
set
very
up.
simple to, like, tell us where your website is now then.
It's greenribbonworld.com, or you can get to it, Ganja Granny says.com.
S-A-
SEZ.
SEC, GanjaGrannySays.com or
greenribbonworld.com.
Green Ribbon
And
World.
I've been trying to promote the green ribbon. I know in Amsterdam they
Yeah.
were out in the West Coast, they're
Yes.
wearing it. I've been trying to push it for 5 years now. And well, maybe it'll take off, maybe it won't. And then I support all the organizations,
Mhm.
you know, Normal, LEAP, whatever, because
Yeah.
there's many good
LEAP is Law
organizations.
Enforcement Agents Against Prohibition.
Exactly, and
Right.
they're all good organizations, and I think people should join them and try to help them financially. They all
Yeah.
we need money. It takes
Money,
money
it takes
to
money.
to
push
push
this.
it. Yeah.
Sure.
So 420, I happened to go downtown. I really didn't intend to go down to Union Square, but I thought, oh, I'd better go help Dana. I'll go check out what's going on. I'll push my little site. And there was a young man that was passing out the flyers for Saturday.
Mhm.
And he was just so sad and sitting there and like he was being forced to do it, which he wasn't. So I was talking to him, and then I walked away, and then when I came back to go to talk to him again, he looked freaked out because he and his partner were
Filming.
Oh,
filming.
Sid was there
Oh,
filming.
yes.
And so then I could see how he looked. And later he said, oh, you really saved me. When I saw the film, though, he was articulate. He was perfect,
yes,
right?
Right.
So I walked in, I said, oh, Ganja Granny's here. And, you know,
Yeah.
and he said, oh, please, here's somebody I know. And then they started
Ever since
filming
then,
me.
that was
And
our
the
meeting.
next day
Right.
we started talking about how could we hook up the hip-hop world.
Okay.
You know, like nobody expects me, you know, Ganja Granny and him, hip-hop,
yeah.
It's
but
great.
whatever they do. I can't grab
You're getting it
anything.
down.
That's right. Whatever it is. Anyway, those are the signs, I guess, of insanity. Or I'm really.
But I love the idea of a cross-generational
I like that.
affiliation.
Multicultural type of thing. It's
so
great.
we decided we would film the adventures of Ganja Granny's quest for a legal hit.
That's excellent.
Say that one more time for people that did not catch that. Those smokers.
The adventures of Ganja Granny's quest for a legal hit.
Yes.
All right.
Okay? I got that out. That's
Right,
fine.
right.
Well, we can't
If you're
wait till
smoking,
you
forget about
till
it.
comes
Serious
out.
film. Yeah, what a great film.
So
I'm glad
we've
you did.
started already. You know, we got some footage Saturday,
Great.
Sunday. A friend of mine, Mickey Bass, a jazz musician. He's played with Art Blakely. He's played with some of the best. It was his 67th birthday. So I said, okay, let's go up there to his party and we'll have a Ganja Granny moment. So they got that when I brought him flowers. I put the green ribbon on them.
Great. That's
So
excellent.
we're going to hit different places. Well, the gay parade's coming up, and, you know, I feel like if I really am for gay marriage, mostly because I'm for legal marijuana. I figure if they pass that, they've got to pass marijuana because so many people are against it, and they say, oh, it's in the Bible, it's an abomination. There's nowhere in the Bible that marijuana is an abomination. So I
No, in fact, you'll
They call it a burning bush.
Right.
Yeah.
I'll invite some of my Orthodox Jewish friends that will tell you that marijuana actually is one of those few things that are not negatively cast in the Bible.
Exactly.
And therefore you find many Orthodox Jewish guys who do smoke
Light up.
marijuana
and all
and light
those
up.
visions
Because
they
it's
were
cool in the
having,
Bible.
You know what? They had some bad stuff. I mean,
Yeah.
you know, I want a vision. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's what we decided to do. So we're going to go, you know, Central Park, Wall Street, whatever, you know, Grand Central,
Yeah.
unexpected places, do the events, the parade, and then take it on the road.
Yeah, do some
Oh,
outreach.
wonderful.
Yeah,
I
like
mean,
Detroit,
we-
Philly, you know.
Yeah.
And speaking of outreach, I mean, when you mention that, is the reason why we want the hip hop community more involved in this because, I mean, primarily, I know that hip hoppers smoke weed. It's very, it's
Very
it's
common.
part of the
Yeah.
culture.
It's part of the culture.
Sure.
Just as jazz, it was in jazz.
That's
and
right.
Absolutely.
Same thing has transcended
Right.
into the hip hop. So the thing is, to give more knowledge to behind it, more information behind it, besides just being a recreation.
Right.
And see how now we
Right.
can go behind it and push it and legalize it for people
Right.
like Ganja Granny.
Right, to take it seriously,
Take
is
it serious.
to realize
Yeah.
this isn't just a this isn't just like wearing a chain
Yeah.
or a type of thing. No, this
No.
isn't just a fashion
This is
thing.
affecting everyone's
Yeah,
life.
Yeah,
it's
right.
and it's an herbal medicine that should be.
And it could help so much more into society if we were to legalize it.
Yeah.
Clothing, other medical
Yeah.
purposes.
Oh, I think
Hemp-
that's a major
hemp,
thing. I think,
yeah.
you know, American ingenuity is what's necessary to bring the United States out of this
Yes,
economic
and we need to
decline, and marijuana is exactly the type
Could
of
be the
thing.
answer,
Could
yeah.
be
We need
a
to
part of it anyway. I'm probably maybe exaggerating a little bit, but, you know, it could be worth, it's a big economy that could employ a lot of people.
You know, it's not
Right.
going to pay off the national
No,
debt,
no,
but
no.
we make
Yes.
a dent.
Right. We'll make a dent at least in
Yeah.
our communities,
Yes,
you know, which would be nice.
exactly.
and it will stop the criminalization.
Yeah.
You know, because
Exactly.
it seems
Well,
like
the criminal part of it is an abomination,
it's
really.
yes.
And the problem for the people in the hip hop community is that they're
They're the
targeted.
ones that are targeted
They're
most
wearing a
likely.
target on their
Yes,
back
yes,
Yes.
because
yes.
the police can go pretty much count on that these kids
they
will
have
have something
marijuana
on
on
them.
Exactly.
And then that gives them a nice, easy day for the
Yeah,
rest of the
yeah,
day. And
yeah.
marijuana
Absolutely.
smokers do not tend to be
They're
violent.
not.
They don't tend to cause any problems to the police. And so this is just an easy way to do a lot of paperwork.
Right.
And meanwhile, these young people are just wearing a target on
Just
their
ask a
back.
cop if they'd rather have to arrest a pothead or a drunk.
Of course.
They'll tell you right away.
Take the
Immediately
pot
they'll
out
They
of
almost,
the-
that's almost a reason why they do it, because it's so much easier.
But in the hip hop culture and other cultures of young people,
Yes, yes.
this is like almost a guaranteed bust for the police. They look at these kids, they're like, oh yeah, he's going to have something, and they do. And it's just so
And that's why I
unfair.
believe that
It ruins lives of kids.
Yes,
They
it
can't
does.
get a
You
college
get a record,
loan.
right.
They
Oh,
can't
yeah.
get so many
Absolutely.
things that it's really unfair when
Right.
you've already got a struggle ahead of you to have a giant mark against you for no reason, basically, whatsoever.
I
you know.
got 3 calls today from senior citizens. Well, I'm 73, but they were like in their 80s who came to the march.
Oh, great.
I didn't realize.
Well, Professor Erwin Corey was there.
Oh, well, yeah.
And he's the most
He's
senior.
gotta be 200.
Yeah. He's been on our show many times.
Now, this is something really interesting. He and his wife are both in their 90s.
Yeah, really?
Yes.
I met him when I was 17 years old.
Wow.
17. I went in Detroit. He was playing at a club. Everybody was telling me, oh, yeah, you got to go see him. But I wasn't old enough. So I borrowed my husband's cousin's ID. She was 22. She was also black.
But they didn't notice.
I didn't
Oh,
know.
they did. They asked me for my ID. You know. They said, "No, you can't come in here." You know, could I use the back door?
Yeah.
Right.
But then I got in a couple weeks later. At least I had white ID then.
Arlene Williams, we have about 2 minutes left in the show. Tell us how folks can learn more about Ganja Grannies and the Green Ribbon campaign.
Well, they could go to my site, greenribbonworld.com. Right now I don't have any help, so you got to bear with me, but I'm getting the info out there. We have tons of pictures from Saturday we're going to put out. And
you'll give information there about the documentary when that's
about
ready.
the documentary.
Right. And yes, Sid, tell us a little bit about the documentary, summing it up, give you an opportunity.
Summing it up really is just basically I'm following Ganja Granny around and her search for a legal hit.
Right. And when's your show on MNN?
11 p.m. Fridays at Channel 56.
All right,
so
great.
We're
lifestyle.
mates.
We're
right.
lifestyle mates here.
Yeah.
All right. Okay.
Sounds good.
Oh, thank
But
you
you gotta
for
give 'em a
having
ribbon.
us.
Oh,
okay.
yes, the
I'm
ribbon.
going to give
Okay.
Okay. Oh, thank you. I will happily
quickly,
wear the
very
ribbon.
quickly.
No, we got a minute.
All
You've
right.
got to.
Paul?
Well,
Okay.
okay, you're
Or me?
closer.
Here we
to
go.
me.
Go for
Okay.
Paul.
Oh, great. Here we go. Stick it on there anywhere you want.
So now you're honorary
Okay.
members of the Green Ribbon World.
All right.
All right, great. And
And this is how we do it. You gotta give a pound and then a piece. All right,
Yeah.
a
All
pound
right.
and then a piece. And
Pound.
stay blazed.
Yes,
All
stay
right.
blazed, exactly. Ganja Granny
Right.
says, God bless all the good stuff coming your way.
And we'll see you next week. Thanks a lot for
Thank you.
joining us
Thank
on
you.
Let 'em Talk.
Stay blazed.
Take care. Bye-bye.
All right. Excellent.